I'm in London right now, right in front of the Tate Modern Museum gallery or whatever, and I'm in front of the Tracey Emin sculpture because I came here to go look at the new Tracey Emin exhibition that's at Tate right now. So I took the train, I took the tube, I arrived at Tate Modern, I came across this Montreal Antifa sticker that some goofy goober stuck there in front of the museum, and I finally arrived at the opening night of Tracey Emin's A Second Life, a retrospective exhibition covering the last 40 years of her work. There were too many people, obviously, so I had a hard time enjoying it fully and taking videos, so I decided to go back 3 days later, a Monday morning, hoping there'd be less people. There wasn't. So in this video, I want to talk about this exhibition, but more importantly, I want to look at what it says about art today. Part 1. Art about the artist. Before going to London, I saw this Richard Avedon exhibition, which will probably be the next video I do for the CBC, and at this exhibition, there's a room dedicated to his dying father. Giant portraits of his father are presented in succession as he gets older and his cancer gets progressively worse. This is his last portrait. The loss of a parent is an almost universal experience, knowing that this portrait is the product of the last artistic interaction between the artist and his father forces us to project ourselves into the artwork, to think about our own relation to our parents and their deaths. For the purpose of this video, I'll call this kind of work testimonial art, the kind of art that shares personal experiences that may or may not be shared by the audience. When looking into Jacob Israel Avedon's eyes, I know, what an unfortunate name, you may experience two different types of reactions which will vary depending on your own experiences with your parents. If one or both of your parents are dead, you will experience this artwork differently than if both of them are alive. You will relate to the experience differently, either by reminiscing the loss or anticipating it. I haven't lost a parent yet. I'm anticipating it. I know it will happen. I hope it happens, in the sense that if I die before them, that means something bad has happened. And there's value in artworks that give emotional insights on unlived experiences, artworks that give you feelings which you haven't been able to feel yet. This is what Avedon's portrait of his father has given me, a glimpse of the experience of grief, its feeling. You can describe grief, but what art can do is make you feel it. And I find that this is increasingly what I'm looking for in art, to understand unlived experiences, such as the loss of a parent, not descriptively, but emotionally. There's people going around me. With testimonial art, when artists make art about themselves, about their own experiences, their art can create reminiscence, which, for the sake of this essay, can be positive or negative, like reminiscing the death of a close one. Reminiscence can help you feel solidarity, feel seen, or learn new ways of dealing or living with a past experience you've lived yourself. If you haven't lived the experiences conveyed by the artist, their art can create anticipation to experiences not yet lived. This anticipation makes the viewer feel through a delayed identification. This is what Avedon's dead father made me feel. But what if you can't identify with Avedon's grief, neither through reminiscence nor through anticipation, because you have no parents? How will orphans experience this artwork? This may be a bit absurd, and this is not a woke appeal to take in consideration orphans in art history, but it's a fascinating position to be in, which forces us to identify a third way of experiencing testimonial art. This third way is, I believe, central to the way we ought to understand art today. When I look at art, I want to be the orphan who looks at Avedon's dying father. I want to be the viewer who looks at art despite not having lived the experience it's depicting, and despite never being able to live that experience, whether that experience is beautiful or traumatic. However, unlike the curiosity of the orphan at Avedon's exhibition, which may be linked to a form of yearning or understanding of a nearly universal human experience, the curiosity which motivates me towards this kind of art is one motivated by understanding, not through facts, but through feeling. I want to be confronted with experiences I could never live. I want to feel a sliver of what that experience imposes on the one who is subject to it, not in a voyeuristic way, not for the thrill of it, but to come closer to understanding it in a visceral, emotional, experiential way. This is why I believe marginal voices, especially through art, are important. Not because diversity or representation are important goals to strive for, though they are, but because there's a relevance, both for individuals and politically, in having a majority understand or empathize with marginal experiences. Part 2. Tracey Emin at Tate Modern. Tracey Emin is one of the best examples of testimonial art made today, bluntly sharing several aspects of her life experiences which, again, some may or may not identify with. She shares, for example, her struggles as an artist. She pays homage to her first artworks by printing small versions of them after they were destroyed by her, or this recreation of the box she put herself in for nearly a month to focus on painting after being unable to paint during her pregnancy and after the following abortion. Or there's her work sharing the experience of having an abortion, the abortion waiting room, or her famous My Bed, which was inspired by a 4-day depressive episode where Emin stayed in bed without drinking or eating, except for alcohol and cigarettes. My Bed recreates the setting of this experience. In a room filled with artworks depicting the lasting pain of being raped, you can find You Keep Fucking Me, or other embroidered works such as Is This a Joke, which, for me, subverts the softness and domesticity of embroidery with the violent and painful experience of rape. These are testimonial artworks. They share, through an unfiltered sincerity, experiences lived by the artist herself, from depression to alcoholism, abortion, rape, and cancer. For some of these testimonies, I reminisced. For others, I anticipated. And for many of them, especially because I'm not a woman, I will never live. For most of my time at the Tracey Emin exhibition, I was the orphan looking at Richard Avedon's father, and I loved it. Again, I didn't love it in a trauma porn kind of way. I'd rewatch Kristen Stewart's The Chronology of Water if I wanted to do that. I loved it in a way where I could better understand the complexity of the pain associated with these various experiences. A plane! It's a plane right on top of Tate. It's really close. Wow. All right. Conclusion. I'm gonna improvise a conclusion because I love. Oh my God. I want to improvise a conclusion, but there's a helicopter. Film the helicopter. Film the helicopter. Oh my God, it's a military helicopter. Okay, camera girl is not filming the helicopter, but it's okay. They don't know. They don't know. It's not their fault. Okay, let's improvise a conclusion. I loved the Tracey Emin exhibition. I didn't know much about Tracey Emin. I loved it. The only thing that I didn't like that much was the last room, and I don't know if it's because of the fatigue of an end of the show where I was like, okay, I've seen enough, or if it's because I felt like it was less focused. But the last room, which I'll show, felt, as I said, a little less focused and a little less intriguing, or it didn't reach out to me as much. And one of my thoughts related to that is when we associate an artist's personal story so much to their art, which is like I said, it's a good thing. One of my fears is that we associate this artist in a way that kind of glorifies that artist, that kind of mythologizes that artist. In the video I made on Picasso being a misogynist, I kind of deplored the fact that Picasso, we kind of mythologize him, we kind of elevate him on a pedestal, which he shouldn't be on. We can love his art, but we don't really need to love the artist. But in the case where, as I'm advocating for, I want art that speaks of the experiences of the artist, how do we not elevate the artist on a pedestal? And I feel like very often, for example, with Tracey Emin, this artist is elevated on a pedestal. You can see it. It's like a retrospective exhibition, right? So of course we're gonna mythologize the artist in a specific way. And we have to wonder, are the experiences that she's talking about in the end as far-reaching as the ones she was sharing at the beginning of the show? Or at the beginning of her career, in a way. All that to say, I loved it. It's a thought that I'm throwing out there. I want to know what you think about it. I think this it contributes to the whole mythologizing of the artist, the cult of personality in a way. And I don't like cult of personality as an anarchist. And I feel like any retrospective exhibition might go into that. Might lean into like this cult of personality, which I'm critical of. And there's people watching the Tracey Emin thing. You can come. It's in London. It's like for a couple of months and people are taking pictures. All right. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, I need to thank my patrons. I need to thank Ron Brendel, X-Towns, Bone Meal, and Chrissy Chris for supporting the channel in such a in such an essential way, supporting this program, this this project or whatever. It allowed me to go to London during my March break. I have another artwork that I saw at Hastings Contemporary, which I absolutely loved. I think I loved it more than the Tracey Emin exhibition, which is by far like a lot bigger. So I'll try to make a video about it in the next video and link it to like another art historical piece or project that has happened in the past. You'll see it's going to be amazing. It's like I can tease it a bit since you got this far into the video. I can tease it for you a bit. I'll share the video. I'll share a video I took at that exhibition where like they recreated a prison, because it's basically the artist is an imprisoned activist, or an activist that was put into prison for doing activism, and they recreated the prison in which you can just walk in and feel the atmosphere, some will say feel the affect of the room, which is like filled with repression, but also like resistance. Because as anarchists will say, in every repression there will come resistance. It's like kind of inevitable. So like anarchism is kind of inevitable because of that. That's anarchist theory, not what you came here for, or maybe it is. Anyway, okay, enough talking. I'm really loving it in London. I'm loving Britain. I'm loving the food here, surprisingly. I'm loving the people. Camera girl is like laughing right now. Can't even know what I'm saying, but just seeing that I'm laughing and I'm smiling. All right, time to go back to camera girl and going for some pints. Go at the pub, grab some pints. What else? Take the tube to go grab some pints. Maybe eat a Chinese, I think is what they say. I'm not sure. Okay. I think that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Tune in, subscribe, like, become a patron if you want to support. Okay, goodbye.